Today you'll see the continuation of the battle with the dangerous sea cucumber demon. Will Denji be able to save the possessed power and her kitty Miauka, or will he be defeated? Of course, the epic Chainsaw Man battles and spectacular duels between demons and humans will be brought to your attention. And so, the bloody war of agency and demons continues. Enjoy watching, dear viewers. Remember, you choose the winner. Before, when Power was still free possessed, she had a pet, her beloved cat Miauka. They didn't even need words to understand each other. They went hunting together, walking through wild woods and fields. When it was cold, Miauka warmed her possessed, and Power gave her his love. Isn't it amazing how a demon can have love? It was a question Power had always wondered about. She couldn't find an answer to it. And in principle she did not want to. She only had to look into those green eyes full of devotion and warmth. Without even noticing it, the most pleasant sound for her was a quiet purr. But the terrible monster Hyacinth deprived her of it. Was it all in the past? Would she never see her beloved cat again? Perhaps she would have if Denji hadn't saved her. He shredded the monster to pieces, leaving only a pitiful remnant. When Power woke up, the first thing she saw was Denji's face, and then her beloved Miaui. She was well alive and beside her. It's up to you. Ignore, the demon cucumber wins. Likes and subscriptions, Denji wins. Everyone was happy. Denji had accomplished his mission and now he was sure to touch a woman's breasts, and Power was back with her beloved together. She was very grateful to the guy for saving her and promised to keep her part of the bargain. Except, after being in the juice of Nejisut's stomach, her body was paralyzed. She couldn't even move a finger. Well, that's alright, you just have to wait and it will pass. The important thing is that the danger is over. It was a female creature that looked like a sea cucumber. It looked like she was the female of this Hyacinth. They were something like a married couple, only a demonic couple. And she didn't like it at all, that some little human dared to destroy her spouse, crush her beautiful manhood and turn him into some pathetic bloody mess. She was filled with rage, frustration, anger, and most of all, a thirst for revenge. She could not simply forgive such a terrible transgression. And now she intends to crush all who were involved in the death of her dear demon. Does some demonic love play a role here, too, or could it be affection, or did she need him just to survive? Unfortunately, these questions will remain unanswered. Well, let's imagine that she truly loved this demon Hyacinth. Dancy was ready to fight again, but after looking at him this demoness decided that he was too cute to die. She offered him a deal that she would let him go. But that possessed and that nasty cat, she would definitely eat him. The deal is quite lucrative, and in a normal situation, Denji would certainly have agreed. But this is a slightly unusual situation, because the possessed woman, who wants to be eaten by this demoness, has promised him to touch her breasts. And this is his first dream in life, a real goal he has set for himself, and he is bound to fulfill it. And now no one dares to stop him from achieving it. And if anyone gets in the way, he will tear him to shreds. He made his point to the demoness, to which she only laughed. Of course she understands this boy, but since he won't play by her rules, then he'll have to die with the horned one. What is it? No sooner has killed one demon, than another appears. Do we really have to fight again? But Denji has already spent a lot of energy on the last kill. He has a lot of wounds and it takes some time to heal them. But it can't be helped, the demon doesn't intend to back down, and neither does the guy, so he has to take this fight, which is what Denji did. The demoness had huge tentacles that she swung around. With them she also struck everything around her, destroying city buildings, people and trying to do damage to Denji. But don't forget, our hero is fast and brave, so it's not difficult for him to dodge the purple tentacles flying at him. He lost a hand because of this demoness, which makes it a little more difficult, especially if you take into account the constant loss of blood. Since he's very tired and wounded, Denji can't activate his chainsaw to its maximum and has to make do with human strength. It's a good thing he can at least run fast, though he deflects tentacle blows, some still catch up to him under cover of construction dust. Despite the brutal blows, unequal strength of his opponent, Denji is ready to fight to the end, for the sake of his dream, for the sake of touching his chest, for the sake of power at last. He hits with a single left, and immediately gets a punch that's much stronger than his own. No. He won't give up that easily. Denji gets up from his knees again, covered in blood and bruises, but he gets up, showing his determination. He turns his hand into a saw and rushes at the monster headlong, jumping over obstacles, dodging blows and running closer and closer to the demoness. This should do it now. There's no other way. He's filled with rage and madness, the likes of which the demon has never seen. But even that doesn't help him, and the demon grabs him in its strong tentacles, from which the boy is unable to break free. And so, when the monster has presented him to its jaws, ready to devour the boy, Aki appears. He, with the help of his fox demon, folding the sign with his fingers and saying the word Khan, snatches the boy from the clutches of death and, thanks to his demon, eats the demoness. Surprisingly, he managed to avoid any casualties. Not a single civilian was killed. Of course there are wounded, but they are alive. Which means that the secret experimental department is doing an excellent job. Denji wakes up already in the hospital, his arm was saved and he got off lightly overall. He's told by Aki that Denji has to be more reserved, and especially that he shouldn't break the rules and go somewhere with the possessed. The boy, though unwillingly, promised that from now on it wouldn't happen again. That same evening, Aki came to Mikima's office to report the situation. He told him all that had happened, that Denji had risen up for the citizens in a battle with a demon, that by turning into a chainsaw he had managed to defeat him. That in spite of all his wounds, he fought to the last man and generally had the guy's back so that Mikima wouldn't give him punishment. The supervisor seemed to understand this, but didn't start to arise. After the report, the guy went home. From the moment Denji moved into his house, his life had changed. Now he wasn't so lonely and couldn't be responsible only for himself. Even though the peace was now gone in his home, he had already begun to get over it a little. The only quiet time when he could be alone with his thoughts was in the morning. Then he could just stand on the balcony and smoke his favorite cigarettes. But as soon as that restless boy woke up, it was as if there was no peace, but the house became more alive. Who knows, maybe this change was for the best. Suddenly, in the early hours of the morning, someone bangs on the door. Who is it? Maybe some demon had found out their address and now wanted to kill them. The guys were in no hurry to open the door, but the visitor was very persistent and just kicked the hell out of the door. Ready for a fight, Denji and Aki took cover behind the walls. They grabbed some sort of weapon and got wary. Peering out of the corner, they quickly realized that the mysterious demon guest was Power and her cat Miauka. Why did she break into the house, and with suitcases? Because Mikima sent her to live with the guys, thinking it would bring the team together and help keep the possessed under control.